latest installation in the designer bed in the garden area at Katie's Garden in Newbourne, Suffolk is the drought garden. Now we're lucky where we are because we're near the coast. We have a really free draining soil. It's really quite sandy, so it's something we've always specialised in. We always had plants that are really good in the dry conditions, and we have the consistency that the soil is always dry. It's dry in the winter as well. In a lot of parts of the country, even though it gets really dry in the summertime, you end up that the ground can get quite waterlogged in the winter time, and that can be a struggle for the plants that don't want to be sat in the wet. So if you do have that free draining soil necessary, then there are various things to look for plants that are going to be happy in hot, dry, sunny conditions. One of the big things to look for is silver leaves. And this is very good because it can reflect away the worst of the heat from the sunshine. It reduces the heat stress, it reduces the amount of water that's evaporating off. Something else to look out for is very cut leaves, sometimes called filigree as well. We've got an Artemisia stellariana here, it's of the wormwood family, and rather than being a big round leaf where there's a big area where any moisture is going to evaporate off, it's reduced that. It's got lots of cuts in it, which is just reducing the surface area and is helping it to hold on to the moisture that it's got. Got here the highly tactile lamb's ear, Stachys byzantia, and if you can see here, it's almost like hairs on the leaves. It's very furry, and they're designed to catch whatever moisture there is in the air. They're hoping it's going to land on that, sort of dew and things, and that's going to be able to drain down into the plant and keep that moist. It's not just Mediterranean plants that can cope with the hot and the dry. We've got the Australasian plants as well. We've got the eucalyptus here. This is a variety called French blue. But it's got the thin narrow leaves, so it's not losing an awful lot. It's also silver to help it reflect off the sunshine as well. This beautiful sea holly is getting around things by not really having very many leaves at all. They're really quite buried in. It's more about the flowers and the stems, so it's not worrying about too much about anything evaporating off. Succulent leaves work well at keeping the moisture in as well, so that if there is any rainfall, the plant sucks it up and it stores it until it needs it. So we've got here a sedum. This is one of the stone crop types. You can kind of see it's quite a thick leaf. It's very sort of fleshy, and that's just holding any moisture that's in there. We have here our bowl of succulents. It's getting a bit overwhelmed by everything else, but these are combining several of the features. You can see they've got the shape where if there's any rain, it is going to go down into the heart of the plant. It is going to go straight to the root ball where they're going to be able to make use of it. They've got these thick fleshy leaves, succulent leaves. They're going to store any moisture that they get. I've got here the Lampranthus. It's almost like knit pine needles, but they're very rubbery, so they're storing, but they've also got that really narrow surface area, so they're not going to lose a lot of moisture. So actually it's a really nice way of gardening, because you're going to have lots of different textures if you're going for something that's going to cope with the drought.